All right, hey guys, welcome back. I feel like I've made enough videos to call this like give it a go. Welcome back to my channel. Um, Today we're gonna do. I hesitate to call it a yoga for runners flow, but it's one that's come from request and also personal need, with just kind of running a lot more than I'm used to. And maybe you're doing the same, or even just walking around more, or if you're working on your feet a bunch. I'm gonna call it just a tired leg flow. So, just a flow to give the parts of our body that need a little bit more love that we don't give enough time to dig into in some of our full body flows. So, we're gonna work some ankles, legs, our hips, and let it just be more of a chill, yeah, just a chill flow. You won't need anything. You won't need the sponge brush. I just picked it up from the ground. But it can be helpful to have a block, or if you have even a blanket or a pillow, it can just be a nice prop to have for comfort and stuff like that. Yeah, let's get started. All right, so we are going to get started in a seated position. So take Sukhasana, easy seat. One leg crossed in front of the other. It doesn't matter too much about which one's in front just yet. But I want you to grab the fronts of your knees and just kind of lift your chest, bring your shoulders all the way up by your ears, and then drop them down your back. Awesome. Let yourself lean back a little bit. Feel the traction of your arms. And then see if you can start to support yourself. So turn your core muscles on just slightly and start to release your hands. Bring them to your heart. Awesome. Maybe you rock a little bit, side to side, forward, back. Just kind of see where you feel the most supported. And then just find a place just to check in, dip into the body for a moment here. Maybe you close your eyes or just look softly in the distance. Let's become aware of your breath, the tonality, the depth. Again, there's no right or wrong answers. Start to breathe in through your nose, fill up belly, your chest, grow a little bit taller to the crown of your head. Then as you exhale, root down through your seat, let it all go. And just do that a few times on your own here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Start to observe just any kind of feelings or thoughts that start to arrive in the body. Don't add too much attachment or judgment. Just notice what comes up. All right, with your next inhale, start to reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Take a big stretch up, reach through your fingertips. And as you exhale, take a twist over to the right side. Left hand comes to your right thigh, and then right hand can just come behind you or even a block if you need a little lift. Inhale, lift your chest. Then exhale, twist your shoulders. Come back through center, reach all the way up. And then take that gentle twist over to the left side. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, twist your shoulders. Maybe your head goes with it, maybe it stays. Awesome. Come back through center, reach all the way up, 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 up. And then take the gentlest fold over crossed legs. Walk your hands out and let your head hang heavy here. Maybe you're a little closer in. Again, it doesn't matter, just wherever you get, just a nice little stretch. See if you can notice the texture of the floor underneath your fingertips. You even play with gripping the ground, pull it back a little bit, that can be nice. A few big breaths here. You're going to start to walk your hands back in, and then you're going to bring your knees up, feet down. Or actually, keep your left leg where it is, and then take your right leg, and you're going to kind of interlace your hands right underneath your thigh here. And I want you to just kind of notice what this feels like. So point and flex your toes. this feels too intense, you can walk your leg out just a little bit. And I want you to lift your foot off of the ground and then take your left hand to the front of your shin. So we're just gonna kind of stretch out our ankles a little bit. So I want you to start to lift, like flex your toes all the way up towards your face. Awesome. And then start to point your toes over to the left side. And then slowly start to drop your foot down. So point it towards the floor. Nice. Then start to point your toe all the way over to the right side. You might feel a little stretch one side or the other. And then lift your foot all the way up, up, up. So kind of a little bit of range of motion work here. So do that one more time to the left. Start to point down. And try to resist any big movements of your shin. Awesome. Point over to the right. So start to lift your foot all the way up. And we'll do that to the other side. So go over to the right, point it down. This can be really nice, especially if you're running around on uneven ground or just new shoes. Again, tired legs, getting into the places we don't touch too often. And do one more over to the right, slow and controlled, super mindful. And notice if there's like areas where it feels clicky or catchy, just note them. That's all. Awesome. And then place your foot back down. I want you just to take your hands, give yourself a calf massage. So dig your thumbs into the back of your calf and just kind of work up and down the muscle and just start to notice kind of where there's some maybe little knots or where it feels kind of sensitive. Our calves do a lot for us, especially with running and walking about. But it's kind of a hard muscle to get a good stretch in. So just gonna give it some love, little massage. I feel ticklish at some spots. Very nice. And working up and down the muscle. Notice what part of your calf is a little more tender than the others. And just be mindful. Awesome. And then you'll switch your side. So right leg will be down. And then bring your hands behind your left thigh. And just notice kind of how this feels. Maybe you walk your leg out if this is too kind of intense. And then start to lift your left heel off of the ground. And take your right hand to the front of your shin. This is just to kind of isolate any big movements of your shin. Awesome. So take your left foot and start to point your toes over to the right side. Right and down. And then start to lift all the way up. Flex your toes towards your face and then point over to the left side. Awesome. Slowly start to bring it down towards the floor. And then over to the right. Start to lift it up. One foot might be a little more like open than the other. Point over to the left. Nice. Then bring it all the way down. And back over to the right. Cool. Let's go in the opposite direction. So over to the left. Lift it up, up, up. It's harder than it looks. Bring it over to the right side. Drop it down. And one more time. So down to the left. Up. Over to the right. And drop it down. Give your calf a little bit of love. This is actually like my favorite thing to do. Working up and down the muscle. Maybe you just kind of press on one little knot for a couple breaths just to get in there a little deeper. Going down towards the ankle, all that good stuff. Awesome. All right, plant both of your feet down. And then lift your chest, hands to knees once again, and just kind of like lengthen your spine. And take another big breath in. And a big breath out. Awesome. You can put your hands down, but slowly lower to the ground. All right, walk your heels closer in towards your hips. And then bring your right knee into your chest. Give it a little squeeze. And kind of roll it side to side. And then catch the back of your right hamstring, make a basket with your fingers. And then I want you to push your thigh into your hands, and then your hands back into your thigh. So feel a little bit of resistance here. Maybe you give it a few pulses just to kind of find like a gentle pressure. Awesome. And then from here, hold on to that pressure and then slowly start to straighten your right leg. For now, I don't want this to be the deepest stretch in the world. So almost even no sensation here, just resistance. And then flex your toes towards your face. And then straighten them away. Do that a couple times. Maybe do a couple circles. Rebend your right leg. And then straighten it out. Again, like we're thinking little to no sensation here. Nice. Maybe a little sensation in the ankles. All right, bend your right knee and just do that a few times through. I like to give kind of a couple bends with my knee. Kind of brings a nice heat to my leg and just warms everything up. Very nice. All right, from here, right foot goes down to the left side. Again, left knee into chest, give it a nice little squeeze. Catch the back of your left hamstring. Give it a couple pulses. Just to kind of find that resistance. And then straighten your left leg, which is all the way up here. Flex your toes towards your face and then point them away. Flex them in. Again, be really mindful and point them away. Rebend your left leg. And we'll do that a few times through. So straighten, point, flex, maybe circle, bend, point. And then do that just a few times on your own. I really like to just bend and straighten my leg. It's the nice kind of warmth I need to my legs. Awesome. All right, bring your left leg down. Bring your right knee back into your chest. And then grab either the back of your hamstring or your two peace sign fingers to your big toe, and then come to half happy baby. So bring your right knee towards the outside of your armpit. And give it a couple kind of pulses here. So kind of similar to what we just did, but instead we're on the outside of our body here. It feels good just to bring your knee down towards the ground, towards the mat. Again, you can do this with both arms, one arm. And just be mindful that you're not moving your left leg all too much. All right, from this half happy baby, bring your right foot onto your left thigh. Catch the back of your left hamstring for a figure 4 stretch. Draw your left hamstring in a little bit closer. You can rock a little side to side. But I encourage you to find a little bit of stillness here and see if you can breathe into your right hip. Big breath in. Big breath out. Awesome. As you bring your left knee in, use your brain to send your right leg away from you. Your right knee, I should say. Draw your abdomen towards the floor. Awesome. Drop your left foot to the ground. And then take this figure 4 shape. And I want you just to drop it over to the left side. So you can cactus out your arms or tee them out. And take a couple breaths here. Just breathe in and out. And then start to find a little engagement of your right thigh. So press your right ankle in towards your left thigh, and then send your right knee further away from you. You should feel kind of something happening in the front of your right hip. Bring it back through center. And we'll switch sides. So right foot down, left leg comes into chest. Catch the back of your hamstring or two peace sign fingers to your big toe. Even the outside edge of your foot can be nice too. Whatever you have kind of this space for. Bend and straighten, or just breathe here. Doesn't need to be the most intense stretch in the world. Again, we're just kind of warming up. Let this be easy. Awesome. Take your figure 4 stretch. Left leg crosses over right leg. Catch the back of your right thigh. Bring it in. You can rock a little bit side to side. Notice just different sensations. Or just find some stillness. Good. Almost imagine drawing down through your belly button. And use your brain to send your left knee a little further away from you. You can also use your hand, but just kind of be mindful that you're not cranking too much. Very nice. Drop your right foot down. Take your figure 4. Drop it over to the right side of your mat. This might feel really nice and a great place to stay. Or start to press your left foot into your right thigh, and then send your left knee towards your right foot, or towards the ground. Bring it back through center. Awesome. All right. Take both of your legs, bring them into your chest, and start to rock and roll gently just a couple times forward and back. And then cross one ankle over the other. And then make your way to a tabletop position. Hands right underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips, and then rock a little bit forward and back. All right, straighten out your right leg. Keep your toes down. Give yourself a little calf stretch here. All right, from here, lift your right leg up. And then step your right foot between your hands. You might need to do a couple steps, kind of hike it forward. And then bring your hands to the top of your thigh, lift your chest up. Let this be a relatively kind of neutral stretch. So hips over knee, knee over ankle. Bring your hands to the top of your thigh, push your thigh forward, and then lift your chest up. Just think about this as space rather than tons and tons of engagement. We want to be strong and support ourselves, but also find kind of that restoration. Notice like what can your legs do to support you, but also what can your chest do. Awesome. From here, take your left arm, reach it all the way up. Just think about going a little taller through that left side, and then lean gently over to the right. And come back to center. Take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh, and then reach your right arm back in space. So big, big twist. And come back through center. Maybe you reach up, and then bring your hands to the inside of your right foot, and then heel toe your foot a little further to the right. And kind of dip your hips a little lower if that feels good. If you want to juice this up, you can even pick up your back knee. But I'm going to keep it relatively chill here. Keep my knee down. You can also drop to your forearms or a block once again. Just going to breathe into the front of that hip. This is a great place to stay. If you want to add a little more quad stretch, you can pad your knee with a blanket or just keep it as is, but you're going to bend your back knee, and this is a really great place to stay, right? You can even pulse it a couple times if that feels comfortable, or reach your right arm all the way up, and then grab it behind you. If you have a choice, I would catch the inside of your ankle, and then flex your foot, square your chest off. It's going to be pretty intense, so know that you can always back off. Do what you need. Release that foot if you have it. And then lift up your back knee just for a moment. And then step your right foot back to meet your left. Drop your knees down. Straighten your left leg. Give yourself a little calf stretch. Pick up your left heel. Knee to your chest. Step your foot forward. Again, maybe a couple steps to get it there. And then lift your chest up. And let this be easy. Maybe even shift forward and back a little bit. Or wherever you feel the most grounded, press down, support yourself, and then hands to your thigh. Keep supporting yourself. You always gotta be our own cheerleader, right? Again, root down through your feet, your back shin, and start to lift your heart. You're gonna feel quite a bit on the front of your right quad. Right hip flexor, all the good things. Reach your right arm all the way up. And then gently lean over to the left. And come back through center. Right hand to the outside of your left thigh. And then reach your left arm back in space. You can only go as deep as feels good. For a little extra traction, push your thigh into your hand back into your thigh. And come back through center, reach all the way up. And then hands to the inside of your left foot, heel toe your foot over to the left side. Maybe you walk your right leg back a little bit if that feels okay or like you need a little more space. Again, knee can be up if you'd like. You can drop down to your forearms. And notice how a lot of these shapes are very close to what we did lying on our back, right? This is like our happy baby that we did earlier. So just know that these poses can be done in so many different ways. If you want to add that quad stretch, bend your back knee. And you can just stay here. It's pretty active release. Or lift your left arm, grab behind you, and catch the inside ankle if you have kind of the space, and square that chest off. Release your foot if you have it. And then step back to that high plank pose. Drop your knees. And just drop over onto one of your hips. And then bring your right leg out in front of you. And send your left leg back. So it looks kind of like a 90-90 position here. Your left leg goes straight out from your left hip. Right out in front of you. Shin 90 degrees to your thigh. So it's our 90-90 shape. Take your hands, walk them forward to start to melt your heart over your front thigh. And then lift your chest right back up. We'll do that a couple times. So drop it down. And lift it up. One more time. Drop it down. And then lift right back up. Now you can keep your chest down in this 90-90 or tuck your left toes. Come to a half pigeon pose. So rock that left knee underneath of you. And if your hips are lifted, that's totally fine. You can also grab like a blanket. It's kind of my favorite thing to use for support. And you can stay up as long as you need. Or same thing, start to melt your heart all the way down. You take your time. Maybe that's just forearms. Again, just be mindful. Again, notice another pose that we did lying on our backs. So lots of options. Start to lift your chest. Walk your hands back in. Tuck your left toes. And then just start to lift up. You can give your right leg a little shake in that plank position. And then drop right back down. This time left leg will be in front, right leg will be behind you. That 90-90 shape. Ground yourself somehow and start to find that lift through your torso as well as your legs. Just walk your hands forward and start to melt your heart down again. Trying to keep a nice long chest rather than rounding from, I say like reaching, you want to reach with your like heart rather than your forehead, right? Drop it down. One more time, lift up. Drop it down. Awesome. And then lift back up. You're welcome to just drop your chest down in this 90-90 shape or take your half pigeon pose. I'm going to add a little blanket for myself. I actually like a blanket better than a block just because it molds to your natural curves. Again, take as much time as you need. Eventually, hands come all the way out. Let yourself get cozy. Well, there's no rush, right? To walk your hands back up. Any props out of the way. Take it back to a table. You shake it out. If you want to go to like a down dog, that can be nice too. And send your legs out in front of you. Come to Baddha Konasana. Good old classic. So little butterfly shape. Feet together. You kind of flap your butterfly wings a little bit. And then again, grab your ankles, get a little bit of tension through your arms. And then start to bend your elbows with a long spine. Lead with your heart rather than your forehead. And start to melt forward. And maybe that's just about an inch. That's totally fine. Maybe you give yourself time here to get a little deeper with each breath. And once you've kind of hit that edge of how far you'll go with a flat spine, maybe you start to kind of round inwards and just find just a place to turn in, dip in. Lift your chest up. Bring your knees together. And slowly bring it right back down to your backs. Knees come to chest. Feel them a nice little kind of swirl, like a little egg beater. Like one goes and the other. Awesome. And find that happy baby shape. So catch the outside edges of your feet, or again, the backs of your hamstrings. I'm just going to rock a little bit side to side. So we don't want to be so crunched up that our hips or our shoulders are lifted. We want this to be pretty gentle on the back, right? So maybe that's just backs of thighs. And see if you can massage your low back. If you have the space, you straighten your legs, kind of going back to that inner thigh stretch we did seated. Ankles can be nice to open up. So start to bring your feet together, again, like Baddha Konasana. And then just pull your heels closer in and send your knees wide. You can rock a little bit side to side here, or just stay in the stillness. Start to crawl your hands up towards your knees. Bring your knees together, drop your feet down. Widen your feet about the width of your mat. Knees knocked together. And just stay. Done a lot of inner thigh opening, so let's just kind of be gentle with that inner thigh closing. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs and push your thighs forward and pull your pelvis, like the rim of your pelvis, towards your face. Take a couple breaths. Start to release any tension. Keep your knees together and just drop them over to the left side of the mat. So this might be enough, really great place to stay. If you want a little bit more, take your left foot to the top of your right thigh and then wiggle your right toes over to the right side of your mat, maybe even to the ground next to your mat. Again, mat on the top of that right thigh. Maybe arms go behind you, this big stretch. To heel toe your right foot back in. And then we'll start from scratch. So feet as wide as your mat, knees knocked together. Drop your knees to the right side. And just stay here, if this is enough. Or take your right foot to the top of your left thigh and wiggle your left foot over to the left side, maybe off of your mat. Bring it back to center. Both knees into your chest. Do a big squeeze. Maybe even kiss your kneecaps. And take Shavasana. Legs long. Arms long. If you have a blanket, you can place it right underneath your knees for just a little extra lift. Or, you can lay it on top of yourself if you're a little cold. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. But if you're ready to come out of your final Shavasana, make some small movements of the body, a little wiggle of the fingers and toes, your wrists and ankles. And eventually take your hands and jump all the way up overhead, bigger morning stretch, all the way from your fingertips to your toe tips. Rock your hips side to side. And then bring your knees tight into your chest and roll over to your left or right side. Take a fetal position. Use your bicep as a pillow just for a moment. Just let the ground support you underneath. And gently, as you're ready, slowly start to make your way back up to a seated position. Sit up nice and tall. Give your shoulders one last little shrug here. Reach your arms all the way out. And bring your hands to your heart. Thank you so much. From my heart to all of yours, I bow to you. Thanks so much, you guys. Yay. All right. That was almost an hour, dude. What?